I am Frau Blucher.
Hello, everybody. You weren't ready for that one, were you, Lewis?
Oh, I knew what was coming, but it was still a surprise. Limited prescience. Yeah. Woof. Uh,
And I see John has got a good topic to start us off.
I do.
Yeah,
um,
Lewis.
now,
Lewis already probably knows about this, but I'm gonna ask Stephanie. Did you know that bees are fish?
Yeah, I saw the same article John did.
California.
Okay.
there's a big difference between bumblebees and honeybees. Let me tell you right now. Honeybees are just fine and friendly and just pollinate flowers, and bumblebees will chase you across a 40-acre field because you dared to get within 3 feet of their hole in the ground. Oh.
Well, then there's hornets.
Hey, Sarah.
Ooh.
And-
Hornets are actually useful in one sense, and one sense only. They will chase flies down like fighter planes, and will capture them in midair and do a very entertaining barrel roll before they take the fly off and eat them. They're
Oh,
awesome.
really?
Yes.
And then there are yellow jackets.
Oh
Yeah.
no, those are just assholes, whether they're from Atlanta or
Yellow
not.
jackets are why gasoline was invented.
Well,
I
hornets
got
are
No, go ahead, Stephanie.
no, I don't care for yellow jackets or hornets. So
I had a yellow jacket sting my upper eyelid of my left eye when I was about 12 years old, and just completely, I looked like Rocky Balboa. It swelled shut in like a matter of 5 minutes.
And there is another bee that I can't stand. Carpenter bees.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
don't do anything, but they eat holes in any lumber you've got.
mhm.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to replace my front
Yeah.
porch rail.
Around here.
Yeah, and the deck and the eaves, anything they can get to.
Hmm.
But they won't mess with you at all. I mean, you could swat at them. They'll go,
Oh
okay.
yeah, they just go.
I was,
Try
I was
again.
I was working on the deck in the backyard. Of course, sawing the lumber and everything, sawdust everywhere. And they kept coming in, checking out what I was doing because they could smell whatever I was doing, I guess. I kept swatting away. And I hear one of them gets right up next to my ear. I went swat, and I heard something hit the deck. I looked back. I'd got a hummingbird.
You,
Oops.
fool person.
Did you get
Was
up
he
or
open?
did you take him out?
He got up and took off eventually, but
It never came back again.
no, he actually kept bothering me the rest of the day. But I don't know why he was bothering.
And believe it or not, there is a male and a female carpenter bee.
Well, yeah, there would have to be. That's kind of logical.
They don't do colony. They bond for life, however long that is.
Well, if they buzz me, it ain't long.
Yeah.
I know one type of bee that Joe Dog likes,
What?
the restaurant.
Yeah. No, but if you see one with a white face, that's the male. And if you watch, those are the ones that are running the other carpenter bees off.
Joe, I'm not going to get that close to any of them to tell if they have a white face or not.
Oh, trust me, with carpenter bees, you ain't got no choice.
Yeah, because you can just sit there and they'll come right up to you and like.
They're like June bugs. I mean,
They-
they're
They
right there no matter what. Yeah.
they could have Kiss makeup on, and I'm not going to get that close to figure out which one's Ace and which one's Gene.
What makes you think they don't?
I don't know, and I'm not going to know.
Oh,
Now, I'm not allergic to bee stings, but
If they just go and eat the old lumber and not the new lumber.
Yeah, they like the new lumber better than the old stuff.
Yeah, that's because Osmos tastes good
Yeah.
to them.
Now
not
it
that I-
does.
not that I would know.
Well, it tastes good now because they don't put the arsenic and the copper in it.
This
That's what
environmentally friendly stuff has gone a little bit too far when you can't protect yourself from common insects anymore. Oh,
Hang on,
Oh,
hang on, guys. I got to find the power cord here.
uh-oh.
ooh, okay.
Got 2 pieces of ship news in the news this week.
Yeah.
As of this morning,
USS Texas.
the floating dry dock arrived in Galveston that they're going to use to repair USS Texas. And it's down there right now at what they call Seawolf Park. And that's the destroyer and the submarine, Bleo class.
That's a tall ass submarine.
They put that huge thing on there when they started doing the Guppy programs. That's a Guppy.
Well, it's an unusual design, but if it works, it works.
And
it gets the radar up higher.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
And anyway, it's down at Galveston. They're going to load up all the stuff they need to go up and get Texas ready to move. And then they're going to go up and do some last minute repairs to Texas, cut her off the pylons, load her onto the float, drag her out, load her onto the floating dry dock, and then sell her back down to their company in Galveston and do the work. They should start getting Texas ready to go in August. So.
And the Kitty Hawk has made has reached her final port of Brownsville.
Correct.
Oh, other ship news, if I may interject. For the Queen's Jubilee today, a series of tall ships sailed up into port for the Queen to enjoy their absolute beauty. I mean, these things are, oh Lord, they're just gorgeous. They're just gorgeous, and got to see some of that. Lindsay's been watching the Jubilee celebration. Excuse me. Haven't had enough beer yet. Too much coffee. My mouth is trying to outrun my brain. I like it the other way. I've seen a recording. There were some of the most beautiful things, and one of the ships that sailed in the early part of the morning was one that was used for filming Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ah.
Yeah. So they crossed the Atlantic
Was that
and went up the Thames. I don't know. I have never looked that up, actually, if somebody is so inclined, John.
And Chris Walker, you did forget somebody. You forgot Bob Ross.
Oh,
sorry. Well, speaking of the Jubilee, my friend told me that Paul McCartney was on some show the other night, and he was talking about it. I don't know what part he's playing in it, or if he's going to perform or anything like that. But
as far as I know, I have not seen a schedule, so I could not tell you.
Well, they say she's only participating in just very few events.
Well, yeah. Look at her age. I mean, seriously. She did a pre-recorded live breakfast with Paddington Bear, which was cute, and I mean, really cute.
Prince Louis do all of her personal appearances.
Well, Charles is supposed to be easing into doing most of the public stuff, and then the grandsons are supposed to be easing into doing a lot more public stuff, except the one that has retired from public life. Believe I'm not British, I can't tell you their names. Lindsay could
What?
probably tell you their ancestry back to about 1086, but
Well, get her in here.
she's asleep.
You're up.
You know, I would think,
Lindsay.
I don't know how much power Parliament actually has over the royalty, but as expensive as a coronation and all the pomp and ceremony that goes along with it, I don't think that they would do that for Charles. I think they would just say, well, you're only going to be around for a couple of years, pal. We're not going to do this again in 5 years. So
Well,
just let William have it.
according to what I'm seeing, Charles is wanting to cut way back on the pomp and circumstance anyway.
We may be seeing the end stages of the monarchy.
Mhm.
They may actually decide themselves to close it down and become a merely ceremonial rather than mostly ceremonial part of the government.
Well, I'll tell you what I wish. I
I
wish
don't know.
Harry and would groom their kid into American politics, because that kid is an American citizen. And then let George become king, and then really groom Harry and Meghan's kid to be president, and that way you'd have first cousins as president of America and the king of England.
Long after all of us are dead.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure, given Megan's predilections, I'm not sure she would make a good mama for a president.
We've had worse.
And Chris, God did save the queen. He saved her for last.
I was kind of hoping she would outlast Charles.
As long as
It could
she
be
outlasts,
arranged.
Keith Richards, I'll be happy.
Birdie.
There can be only one.
Well, I thought Betty White was going to be that one, but oh well.
Yeah, well, she said, okay, let's just leave people wanting more.
George Burns set the bar, but then, you can't go forever.
And you got to look. Hey, there's a dark horse in that race. Dick Van Dyke.
Ooh, yes.
Point.
Yeah, he's 99 right now, isn't he?
98, I thought, but 99, I would be willing to be corrected on
Patrick
that.
Stewart's closing up fifth, and was it
I
Angie?
mean-
Is Angie? I think Angie Dickinson is right up there.
I posted a video, I think, in Stupid O'Clock group from Dick Van Dyke's Facebook page, where he was being interviewed about how are you keeping in shape and everything, and he was showing all these exercises. He was demonstrating them too, and talking about, this is how I keep, and the dancing and everything, and that, and it's totally amazing. And he's one of our local boys over in Danville, about 9 miles from me, where Carl and Donna live, but they love him to death up here.
Well,
it's
he's done it.
nice
He's made.
to see. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Sorry. He's made a big hit on social media lately because somebody sent him a sweatshirt that he was seen wearing in public that has a picture. Well, it says just a spoonful of sugar and has a picture of a spoonful of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that people were like, I want one of those. So it's like the person who made it for him is now making them for sale.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
I saw that on there. That was really cute.
and thank you.
Now,
John,
the
about
next one should be
information on the
Chimney.
Irene.
what Dan?
Chitty bang bang.
I was just thanking John about the information on the Irene, which is the name of the ship in Pirates of the Caribbean, and Alice Through the Looking Glass, apparently.
Yes, it was right at the end of Tim Burton did Alice Through the Looking Glass. At the very end, she's going to China.
Okay.
And who believes that Johnny Depp will be in the new Pirates of the Caribbean since he won his case?
It's a good
They're
question.
going to have.
Objection,
They're going to have to ask very nicely.
objection, hearsay.
Well,
Well-
there's a petition out there to get what's her face off of the next Aquaman movie.
Unfortunately, they've already got half of what she was supposed to do filmed. So
Yeah.
From the last article I read, the editing has reduced her down to about 5 minutes.
That's
Oh,
all right.
wow.
Nobody's going to watch it anyway. So
Yeah, she ain't getting paid per screen minute. She's getting paid regardless. So
Yeah, she's getting paid no matter what. But
Yeah.
Well, did y'all see Jason Momoa's testimony in the trial?
no,
Didn't watch any of it.
Oh my God. He's going, she's crazy. I worked with her. She's crazy.
Are you serious?
Yes. He goes, you know, did you see feces in the bed? Did I see it? Looked like a brown fish laying there.
that's why when I saw that meme for the Sealy Posturpedic bed with the poo on it, I had to post it in there. It was like
oh dear,
too soon.
You know, we should probably put a ban on current events older than or younger than 200 years. There's just too much. Well, there's too much stuff happening. Glad I self-corrected. The editing circuit is still working, although several others are not. I'm having trouble getting out of the chair nowadays. It is. I thought it was sciatica, and my wife pointed out it's probably just nerve damage from the shingles. It's
Tell
on
her
the
you want
same
a second
side.
opinion.
No, she is a retired nurse, so you know, I'm trusting her. But
You going to get it checked out, or
I'm going to get the shot as soon as this stuff goes away, so I can. It's been months, and I've still got bits and pieces of it hanging about. You know, it's like an old 45 single. It just never seems to be going
oh,
away.
what a transition to Dan and Stephanie, and I think Joe Dog know what my show and tell is going to be tonight. But did you have before we do that, did you have the first shingle shot?
Not yet, no, because I didn't know I had it until after it was too late to get the shot. I have to wait till it's gone now.
First one's going to probably kill your arm, and the second one will be nowhere near painful. I'll just give you that heads up.
I've lived with pain since I was 8. It's no big deal. It's only pain. I complain about it, but it doesn't mean it's going to slow me down.
Well, mine was the worst part of it. The pain was bad, but the worst part of it was I couldn't raise my arm like this. I couldn't get it above my chest for about a day and a half. It was not just too painful. It just wouldn't go. It literally would not go up.
I had a knot on my arm, upper arm, bigger than my entire hand. And it was so sore that I couldn't lie on that side. And that was the first shot. The second shot, I ran such a high fever overnight that's the reason why I now have a bridge, was because I had a tooth thermally shatter when I drank some room temperature water.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, it's to be expected that you're going to have some pain because you're getting a shot in the muscle. When I just got my pneumonia shot a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't lay on my left side, where they gave me the shot in the arm. And it hurt for a couple of days, but I could raise my arm as opposed to the first shingle shot. and that. But yeah, at any time they give you something in the muscle, you're going to feel it for a little while.
Oh,
Have you ever seen me in person? I'm nothing but muscle and a beer gut in just a little guy body.
I just found out today's the 40th anniversary of a great science fiction movie, Wrath of Khan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, was that today?
Phantom Events is bringing it back to theaters.
Wow.
Oh,
I think it's in July. I'll have to check with Phantom Events.
Where out at East Ridge?
Yeah.
Well, it was a very good movie, especially for its time, and it has held up quite well.
well, it saved the Star Trek film franchise because after the first one, they were contractually obligated to do another one, but nobody knew what was going to come of it.
Oh, you mean Star Trek: The Motionless Picture?
Yeah,
Hey, that thing had some pretty cool special effects, you know.
Star Trek: The
Yes.
Bald
Yes.
Picture.
So
Yes, it did, but it was very, very, very slowly paced.
Just that one scene where the 3 Klingon cruisers are going in and never came back out. Just that was like if you were a Star Trek geek back then. Oh, 3 Klingon cruisers. This ought to be a good fight. It's like zap, zap, zap.
No,
And that's it.
if you were a Star Trek fan back then, you go, why are they wearing turtles on their heads?
That's it.
They don't look like they're Mongolians anymore.
Hi.
Hey,
Yeah,
Stephen.
there was a lot of people up in arms about that.
Hey, well,
Up in
It's
foreheads.
just one of those things. They actually look like that all the time. Well, maybe not. We'll retcon that about 6 times and see what happens.
There was
As Worf said, we don't talk about that.
you know how the Federation has all those different races? There is a game called Starfleet Battles, and Starfleet Battles they explain the Klingon Empire has at least 12 races in their empire.
Hey,
And that was how they explained it for their game. Was they had different
that
races.
makes sense.
I remember that.
Actually. That makes sense.
Yeah, mixing up the races with the Romulans and the Vulcans. That explained the TV show.
Yeah, well, and different planets of classic Klingons and non-classic Klingons. Anything's possible.
I've got to say a
But
thank
my
you.
God, Christopher Lloyd was great.
I have to say a thank you to Mary Roxanne Adams, who shared our Stupid O'Clock stream. If you're tuned in, Mary, say hi to us. Thank you. That's a new name we haven't seen before.
You know what we don't ever do on either
What?
show?
What?
Hit the subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell.
Wash the dishes.
Everybody else that has a YouTube channel says that, but we never do because we're too busy having a good time.
We don't care. Well, that's like I was asking Joe Dog about the T-shirts and all that the other night. For the year that I've been on here, I don't ever remember that ever being publicized.
That darn thing. I was just throwing up the banner for the. I know we used to have one.
What did you say, Lewis?
Next month, Men in Black celebrates its 25th anniversary.
Oh wow!
Thanks,
One of
Lewis.
my
Now we all
favorite
feel-
movies.
Well, 3 of my favorite movies, but
Yeah. My gosh.
And everybody
it's been
will
that
never
long.
watch it the same way again.
Hey, Joe, does that thing still work?
Do what?
Does that thing still work?
All of them do.
Okay.
okay, yeah.
Okay, finally found it. Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan 40th anniversary. Sunday, September 4th, Monday, September 5th, and Thursday, September 8th on the big screen again.
Mm.
This year, upcoming September.
Yes.
Yeah.
4th,
Would
5th,
you?
and what?
September 4th, 5th, and 8th.
Ah,
Well, I
Adding
was
it to
going
my
to.
outboard brain.
Fathom Events. FATHOM Events.
because they
I
had
think
this.
next month is going to be Wizard
I
of
don't know.
Oz.
Some of the others were pretty good cons. Let me tell you.
Because it came out.
What?
Wizard of Oz 90th anniversary next month.
90?
Hmm.
Yeah, it came out in 32.
Good.
Yeah, I remember seeing that
32, I
on
thought it was
television
38.
when there wasn't color.
Yeah. Well, I remember
Now,
when it came
when
on
did they?
CBS in October. There was just this big thing, and then Dunkin' Donuts. I was working at Dunkin' Donuts in 1974 when they invented the Munchkin, and it was a combined promo with CBS's showing of The Wizard of Oz. That's when the Munchkin came out. I mean,
Well, didn't CBS always show it like right around Easter every year? It was always around a
Yes.
certain holiday.
Wizard of Oz
Yeah.
was always in October.
October?
Yep.
Yeah,
Right
Or
around
maybe
now.
I'm thinking of Gone with the Wind or something, but I thought, I mean, it would make more sense in October,
Well,
obviously.
when Gone with the Wind was broadcast on network TV, they actually censored the line that made Gone with the Wind.
Oh, you're kidding.
Mhm.
No,
Frankly,
Brett
my
Butler's-
dear, I don't give a Dunkin'
in
Donuts.
the 60s, and the censors were still,
Employed.
Yeah.
watertight.
Wizard of Oz was 39.
Why didn't Dunkin' Donuts ever? Why didn't Dunkin' Donuts ever get Sandy Duncan to be a sponsor for
Did they
them?
not?
She's too
I don't
cute.
think so.
They did, but while she was doing the commercial, something happened. She slipped. Her eye came out and landed in with the Munchkins, and that was they decided not to go with that.
You ain't right, John.
No, you're confusing her with Peter Falk.
Or
No,
Sammy Davis
Sandy had
Jr.
glass eye too.
Yeah. The commercial she always used to do all the time was Triscuits by
Yeah.
Nabisco in the 70s and 80s.
you can't believe it's a biscuit.
Do we get sponsorships for this?
We are.
Free
I've
advertising.
told you before, Joe. Type up a letter, bill them.
Yeah.
Either
Start
they'll
with
say, "We don't
Spreckers."
owe you money, or you'll get a check. One or the other.
Or we'll get a cease and desist.
Which is a letter. It's
Oh, we get those anyway.
really.
Didn't Last Man Standing get another cease and desist for the same damn photograph that I already got the claimant to release the claim on the copyright because I pointed out that photo belongs to NASA. They got better lawyers than you, and I don't even need to get involved.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, did you notify Brian Roars about it?
I did not even get a notice except for you telling me about it. It didn't show up on my YouTube, so usually it does.
Hey Joe,
Yeah.
Riverbend they were just being cheap, but they were trying to pass it off as they were being earth friendly.
Yeah.
Recycled the 2020 wristbands that they couldn't use because it got canceled for COVID. That's this year's.
Did they write a 2
Yeah, they
over
should've-
the
they should've
0
wrote
in
2 over it.
Sharpie?
No. As you can see, it's 2020.
Well, before my internet goes again, if you don't mind, I'll do my little show and tell. I know Stephanie and Dan and Joe Dog saw it in the green room last night, but went to the auction Friday night, made some purchases. Lewis, you'd be interested in this, and particularly for what you were talking. Okay. Went to the auction the other night. Got original copy of All Things Must Pass with, oh, wait a minute. All the albums in the sleeves, all three of them, including the Apple Jams. But this is the cherry on top here, Lewis. I'm doing this very carefully because this thing has never been out of the album
until last night.
Yeah. Until I rip it up. It's the original George Harrison poster from All Things Must Pass, and it's got the poles. Now it's a 2x3. This next week, I called Hobby Lobby today about seeing when their 50% off on their frames would be, and by the way, all this is an original 1970 Apple, and everything is just like mint condition. But anyway, I'm going to see how expensive a 2x3 poster frame will be. It seems like it's a fairly common one,
should be.
But anyway, here's the other one. I Feel Fine and She's a Woman with the picture sleeve, and this 45 is in great shape. The sleeve's a little worn, and the other thing that I'm going to definitely get at Hobby Lobby, they make frames for 45. So if you have just a 45, they make a frame that it's a front loading frame that you fit the 45 straight in like a gold record or something. But they also make another one that's wider to you fit the picture sleeve on one side and the 45 on the other in there. And I'm going to get those. And I spent some money on eBay today on a couple other things with picture sleeves. So whenever they come in, I'll do that on a future show and tell. But yeah, it's going to go into the frame. And then if the one for the Harrison poster is too expensive, that's no problem. And it's been in, I have my Wings Over America. I have the original poster still in there of it, which is a little bit smaller, but it's fine to keep it in there. You know, maybe that's where it's supposed to be.
I once got an accidental collector's item. I bought an Adamant 45 back in the 90s. And the B side is Adamant. The A side is the theme from the Rockford Files, but the label says it's an Adamant song. Somebody accidentally pressed the 45 with Rockford Files on one side and Adamant on the other, and sold it as an Adamant 45.
Theme song for the Rockford
You didn't know that Mike Post was one of the ants?
Yeah, he was Aunt B, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but I've saved that thing ever since, just in case it's worth more than the $1.50 I paid for it originally.
Did you see the picture I posted to Stupid O'Clock about somebody found a 64 box of Crayola crayons at Ollie's? And he opened it up, and all 64 crayons are orange.
Yeah. I saw that all the same color.
I'd be curious to open up some of the other boxes and see if
they didn't lie. There's 64 colors. It's just all the same
crayons. Yeah, but yeah.
But I'd be interested. You go by and open all the boxes and like have a box of red, a box of blue, a box of gold. You know.
Yeah, somebody would have had to have bought 64 boxes and then just homogenized them all.
Or just left them sealed, but you know. How
if you're doing Halloween,
if
you're doing Halloween coloring pages, that box of 64 orange is going to come in real handy.
or the box of 64 black. Yeah.
Lewis, I'm just going to ruin your night.
Especially doing Linus's pumpkin patch.
Do what?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I saw him the other day in his uniform, and I asked him for a nutty bar. I said, "Aren't you the good humor man?"
Context for those of us who are ignorant, please.
That's his boss at the radio station.
Oh,
Who is
okay.
the Navy
He's a
reservist.
retired captain in the Navy, and I was a mere petty officer.
So you actually knew what you were doing.
So next time you see him, Lewis, say, "Hey, Gopher, how's it going?"
Oh no.
That would not go
Or you
over
can do
really
this
well.
thing.
Love, exciting and new.
Hey, don't knock it. I watched a few episodes a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, oh God, I miss John. I think she was doing like
He's
one
still
episode a
singing.
month, wasn't she?
He's still singing.
Oh, okay.
You just blocked him because he's still singing.
You booted him off, huh?
The love.
No.
Bring him back, and he's a
Something
bubble.
for everyone.
The plane boss, the plane, or actually in this case, it's the pain boss, the pain.
There's a movie,
Oh.
and if you've never seen it, it's hilarious. It's called Airplane.
Did anybody see that new Fantasy Island?
No, nobody. It went straight to DVD.
I've seen it at Myers, the DVD of it at Myers for like $9.99 or whatever. I'm like, ooh, I'm sorry.
But there was a scene where he escapes from the mental institution and he's sneaking along the wall, and they show all the spotlights running along the wall. And he gets about halfway down the wall, and all of a sudden you hear the Love Boat thing, and there's the guy singing the Love Boat thing.
Wasn't that Paul Williams or Paul?
No,
Paul Williams wrote it.
Yeah, but it was
He didn't perform it.
Jack somebody.
No, it was Jack Jones or whatever
Yeah, I think you're right.
that sang it.
Hey,
Yeah, Jack
But
Jones.
Willie English wrote it.
I didn't realize this. I have this in my clips.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Should be a little longer.
How apropos. I speak jive. Yes, indeed, Sarah. You have seen the film.
Kevin Billingsley.
Mhm.
Speaking of Billingsley, I ran into Kevin Billingsley last night at Riverbend.
I saw that picture you put. How's he doing?
He's doing well. He's running the Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on Gun Barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he sold buds.
Yeah, he sold buds. Well, buds. I don't remember him having buds, but he had a couple of barbecue joints.
Okay, I thought he.
Down here selling buds is an entirely different connotation. Let me tell you.
No, Buds is a sports bar here. It used to be a steak and ale.
Well, if you were a good sport.
No, Buds. At one time, Buds was the place to go in this town.
Yeah. For some people, it still is. People who still live in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd be surprised at how many there's
You'd be surprised.
actually are.
You'd be surprised how many handicap spots are in the parking lot now.
98%.
Yeah, their clientele is getting on in age.
And I couldn't get it out while Lewis was drinking. I tried.
Thank goodness for small favors.
I don't know how much longer I can last. I've been
You
up.
look tired from the minute you got on the
No,
camera.
I've been up since 6 o'clock. I've been working on the basement. I had to stop working on the basement long enough to go do my couple of hours at Riverbend. Then I came back and continued working on the basement. And it's all drywall and mudding and just my shoulders. Oh.
Well, I voted for the musical graph.
Yeah, I like that one too. But after I came up with the seagulls, I'm like, I'm all aboard.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think everybody likes that one now, and so that's what we're going to do.
I must be transitioning into being an adult. I gave up the obvious fun. Sometimes it sucks growing up.
I saw it too, and it was a soft. I mean, it was an underhand pitch across the plate, right in the strike zone. And I just let it go.
If it was the green room, it would have been knocked out of the park, but
Hey, Bill, is this what you look like to Dan all the time? You're out of focus.
I am.
no, the world
That's
looks
me.
like that to me all the time.
And Chris Walker's
It's
right.
always out of focus.
Chris Walker's right. I miss the old Riverbend.
Yeah, I mean, they used to have 5 stages and 100 acts, and now it's 2 stages and 20 acts in 3 days instead of.
I mean,
Daryl used to work it up. Sorry, go ahead.
Riverbend used to be a festival, a week-long festival. Now it's
with a barge.
Yeah, there was a party barge,
sort of.
Yeah, well, and that really hurts is the coach stage being gone. Well, the barge.
So what you're saying is it used to be Woodstock, but now it's Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
Well, it was never Woodstock, but it was a hell of a lot more fun than it is now.
And when they announced that they were partnering with Live Nation or whatever, the one that runs River Bonnaroo, I said,
Yep, so there goes the neighborhood.
So much for sweating with the oldies.
I ain't never heard of any of them.
Me and Donna, we were actually pointing at one of the posters. I think we were at Food City. And going, who the hell is that? We recognized Tanya Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Keisha.
Oh, hello, Keisha.
Hi, Keisha.
She actually has her name on there. That's wonderful.
Hey.
I think everybody, well, now that Stephanie got her thing worked out, everybody's got their name up there.
Yep.
In lights.
Guess who currently has a pet owl? Okay, is it in the house or
not Harry Potter?
Too soon.
Ba-dum-bum.
Too soon. It's only been 20 years. Too soon.
Is Peter Billingsley related to Barbara Billingsley?
I was thinking that earlier too. With the airplane reference,
Right.
Oh,
He probably
okay.
gets that question asked 100 times.
Oh, it's stuck in
Go
her
up.
chicken coop.
Well,
Are the chickens safe?
Oh. Yeah. It's time to let the chickens out.
Yeah, really.
But the mongoose is in danger.
We have 2 owls that hang around right outside our house. But strangely enough, the only time I hear them is during the day. Which sort of makes sense because they hunt at
sure
night.
you're not hearing a turtle dove?
No, I'm hearing owls. Well, I can see them occasionally. But I can hear them during the day, but you never hear them at night, of course, because they're hunting. So they're being, stealthy.
The only time we got a couple of owls that hang out around here, and I hear them at night. Of course, then there was the time that we heard the squeal of something up on the roof, and then the next morning we found
Remains.
shat remains.
Oh dear.
So
Where I used to live, I had a neighbor who raised chickens and turkeys and even a potbelly pig. And one day he come home to see this owl drop out of the sky, grab and behead one of his turkeys with its talons and take off with the head, leaving the headless body laying there.
Flopping.
I think the owl got that one backwards.
yeah,
Yep. Well,
Lindsay discovered today that our favorite raccoon is still among the living. It is now, when it stands on its hind legs, the size of a 6-year-old child, almost 3 feet tall.
wow.
Yeah,
is she gonna dress him?
it's a healthy raccoon.
Name him Rocky.
She's
I
gonna
don't
put him
know
in
what
some
Rocket.
Sears Tough Skins jeans
Give him a
and a t-shirt.
Either one of those.
I don't
Oreo.
know, but he better stay away. He better stay away from my gun locker. I'll tell you that right now. We'll have an argument. I
Oreo.
paid too much for those.
They love Oreo cookies.
Well, she went out in the evening to replenish the cat food for the ferals and the raccoon and the possums and the armadillos and whatever, and she goes, "He didn't eat much. Used to he'd clean us out. He didn't eat all of the cat food." I'm going, well, growing boy, okay. Maybe he's on a diet. Not buying diet brand cat food.
Are you about to fall asleep on us, Lewis?
Yeah, I give up.
Oh,
Well, I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Luke.
Mhm.
It
to
is
see ya.
always a pleasure. It is always a
See you
pleasure.
Thursday.
I hope to see you guys Thursday.
Sleep
Thank
well.
you.
Later,
Go
dude.
crash.
Speaking of your gun cabinet, I got
Let's
something
not-
in the mail
Let's
today.
not
I got
speak of
my
my gun cabinet.
yeah. Hey, let's talk about Dan's gun cabinet. No, I finally got my renewed FOID card in the mail today. Illinois now is combining. It used to be if you had concealed carry, you had one card for your one FOID card, and then another one for your CC, but CCL. But
What are you saying? Foid card? Spell it.
FOID. It stands for Firearms Owner Identification Card.
Okay.
This
Never
for
heard of that before.
for you to possess a weapon in the state of Illinois, you must have one of these legally, and your CCL, which is concealed carry license, which that you actually got to go through training, X amount of hours of training in a class. You would have a separate card. Now they are combining the two on the same card. So when I got my card today, the paperwork that came with it said concealed carry on there. I don't have a concealed carry. And I'm thinking,
You do now.
yeah, state of Illinois screws up everything else. And I thought,
Hey,
oh, maybe I just got a concealed carry. But then it says indicator on the top right hand side of the card, and on mine there's a letter N for nuns, which means I don't have a concealed carry.
Do you know what a concealed? You know what you got to do for?
So if that's not complicated enough,
Do you know what you got to do with concealed carry in Tennessee? Put it in your waistband.
I
In
spent all that money
Georgia,
to go
you
to that.
have
I
to.
spent all that money to do 20 hours worth of classes.
In Georgia, you have to surrender your fingerprints and have it run through not only the local crime database but the FBI fingerprint database. And if you are not wanted for anything, they go, okay.
Supposedly,
Well, there's one guy that's got
in Illinois, they cannot make you do that. But if you do give them your fingerprints, it's supposedly to get your card to you a lot quicker. But Illinois has been so backed up anyway on getting all the cards out. And then we had COVID, and then that backed it up even further. And that's when mine expired, was in 2020. And so I literally had to get I wasn't able to renew it. I had to actually do it as a brand new one. So I have a different FOID number now than what I had before because of it. But yeah, it's stupid. When I lived in Indiana, I didn't need any of it. And I could carry my 45 wherever the hell I wanted to. Yeah.
Yep. Down here, it does mean concealed. You are not allowed to wear it openly in a hip holster or where anybody can see it. It's got to be concealed. Otherwise,
you can,
anything you can conceal on your person is legal if you've got the permit. So I'm going, what am I going to do with this chainsaw?
Dan, there's a guy that's got an FBI file on him right now who was convicted of littering.
Yep. I believe I've got 3 of his albums.
8x10 color glossies with arrows and descriptions on the back.
Officer Obi was so disappointed because it was a case of American pure blind justice.
That Woodsy Owl is a tough SOB, isn't he?
Background checks is just merely the checking of databases. That's all it is.
Yeah, really. If you have never committed a crime and you don't have a history of mental illness that is on record, then on discretion of your local county police, not the state, not the FBI. After they run everything and find out that you have not got any record whatsoever, you are issued a concealed carry permit. And all that means is if you do something else, like you're involved in an automobile accident and you are actually carrying concealed, you are within the law and cannot be prosecuted as long as you didn't use it during the accident. In which case it would have been an on purpose.
Well, my late sister-in-law had a concealed carry in Illinois, and she had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get it. And then after my brother passed away, about a year later, she moved to Tennessee, over by Elizabethton, Tennessee, and then Bluff City after that. And she got her Tennessee concealed carry over there, and she said, "Oh my God, it's so much easier here."
Back in 2007, when we were rear-ended by some teenager on his cell phone, we had just gone to the store and bought $100 worth of groceries, which got scattered all over the highway, and I had just got a 12-pack of beer because it was a Georgia-Tennessee game day, and I wanted to have a beer while I was listening to the game on the radio. That deputy tried so hard to get me on a DUI because several of the beer cans, as they went through the windshield, opened. And I had not been drinking. And got to the hospital. I got the blood alcohol test, which is, even more definitive than the breathalyzer test. Came out 0.0 every time it was administered. And my wife had to tell one of the nurses while they were cutting my shirt off with the pair of scissors to get to the broken collarbone that I suffered from the accident, that I did indeed not only have a permit but had a firearm in my fanny pack, and we got that put in the safe so that when we were released from the emergency room, I could reclaim it. The deputy was right there, just swelled up like a balloon. I got you. I couldn't get you on a DUI, but I'm going to get you on carrying an illegal firearm. And I go, yes, here's my concealed carry permit. And he deflated instantly.
Oh, yeah.
He wasted an entire night trying to get me on something. And not only was I not drunk driving, I had the permit. I had all the investigations done. And believe me, if the FBI says you're not wanted for anything, I'm going, yeah, story of my life. Nobody wants me for any damn thing.
Now, I'm willing to bet that kid was somebody's kid if they were working that hard to get you.
Yeah.
My insurance company read the report of how he was allowed to leave the scene afterwards. After plowing into the back of us when we were sitting still waiting to be able to make a left turn, he went off the side of the road, took 6 feet out of the middle of a telephone pole, and went further another 20 yards with the front end of his car plowing up dirt. So he must have been doing about 95, 100 miles an hour when he ran into us. I mean,
yeah, how dare you be sitting in your car waiting to make a left-hand turn?
Yeah, yeah, and the worst physical part was that in the groceries in the back seat, I got hit in the head by a can of vegetables and had a concussion.
Oh.
Yeah, and lost my prescription glasses. They flew out the windshield. The car spun around twice and wound up in the ditch backwards, as well as him going off the other side of the road and taking the telephone pole out. Thankfully, the phone lines were not broken. He took the center out of a telephone pole. It flew up and then settled back down within about.
What was he driving?
A Pontiac Sunbird, which is a little bitty.
Yeah,
thing.
Looks like a Pinto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it looked like a gremlin by the time he was done with it.
Well, I have a G5, and that's the same class size as a Sunbird, little 2-door.
But when my insurance read the police report, they go, "Oh, this is a cop's kid." They let him walk, and
it might have been a politician's kid.
Local politicians don't have that much power, but local cops do. He had actually called his insurance company and reported that he hit a telephone pole, but he did not report that he had hit another vehicle with people in it.
Uh-oh.
And canceled his insurance in order to try and escape having to pay off on my insurance claim. State Farm went after him hammer and tongs. So not only did he have to pay for totaling my car and putting me in the hospital and putting me out of work for 6 months, but he had to pay for the telephone pole and 6 telephone trucks coming out to replace said pole, and the yard of the person who owned the property where he just plowed through, and several other things.
Fraud. That's insurance fraud too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I don't. I think that was the one thing that they did not charge him with. But the cops wrote him up for following too close.
And that's all.
That's all. So yeah, cop's kid sounds logical to me.
Well,
Don't know, don't care. I hope he's having a great life. I hope he doesn't suffer any trauma. Lindsay has not been able to drive since that year, and unless it's very, very short distances. She spent 10 years unable to do anything but be a passenger in a car.
oh, speaking of that, not to change the subject, but you were talking about her driving. Did you ever get the thing figured out with her car about what was it, alternator or?
I know exactly what the problem is, and it is incurable. Every time you buy an alternator that fits that car, it comes with the same designed flaw. It has 3 diodes inside that act as a voltage regulator, and they are crap. They automatically, after a few miles of use, you replace the alternator, those diodes lock open. You turn the car off, the battery drains.
Did you ever check to see if there was maybe a recall on that at one time?
No, it's a common design for 2002. Well, it's several years in the early 2000s. GM cars, and nobody has ever been able to redesign the alternators with decent parts so that it doesn't happen. If you own an early 2000s GM vehicle and you have to jumpstart your car if you don't drive it every day, you have one of those alternators. And I'm very, very sorry, but there is nothing that can be done. You can change the alternator, you can change the battery. It does not make any difference whatsoever. If you don't start the car and drive it every day, you will have to jump start the car every time you want to go anywhere.
That's when I'm figuring out how to put a good old AC Delco from the 90s on there.
I wish I could. I mean, I know it's an alternator. Anything that would fit in the frame and the electrical plug would work. That's the thing, the electrical plug.
Oh, that's an easy problem.
Well, then you can't charge the car.
Well, no, you put a new end on that matches the other alternator.
Well, you gotta have all 3 wires in there, and then there is a. I was told I could figure out with a voltmeter which wire it was. Cut that one, run a couple of extra wires to the dash of the car, and put a switch on it. Whenever Lindsay parked the car, flip that switch, battery would be fine. If you ever wanted to start it again, flip the switch back on, boom, you're in business.
And there's Chris. Chris is the hero today. Oh,
when is he not?
Oh, he was a lifesaver today. But we got it done, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
I reiterate, when is he not a hero? Oh,
when he's a villain.
Do what?
Tragic news.
What?
Lindsay discovered the bottle of Statesman yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
She says that it was almost empty when she found it. It's definitely empty now. But she did not have any pain whatsoever from her arthritis, her sciatica, or the GERD last night, so she got to sleep really well.
Good night, Sarah. I slept pretty good that after the puppy wake, after the dead dog wake.
Yeah, the third time that Chris put you to bed.
Stephanie, long story short, tore up from the floor up.
It is not advisable to mix Joe Dog's
Special
moonshine
brew.
with
Anything.
with Statesman bourbon and even something as innocent as water, because it will come back to bite you in a place you don't want to be bitten.
Stephanie, he wasn't just 3 sheets to the wind. He was a whole ream of paper to the wind.
It was more like a whole fleet of sails, yes.
Dan, I just sent to your messenger the GM recall website link, and basically you just put in your wife's car's VIN number in the search engine, and it'll tell you if there's been a recall on it for anything, let alone the alternator. But anyway, I sent it to your personal messenger, not the stupid o'clock one.
It just lit up my iPad, so yes, I've got it.
Okay.
And
all right.
Yep. If that works, that'll be great. It's a wonderful car. The engine is fantastic. It's got more horsepower than she needs, but because of the issue with the alternator, she hates to have to use it. If we could cure that, this thing will last her the rest of her life. I mean, it's a wonderful car, except for that one design fault.
Yeah.
You would think they would have discovered that flaw with the alternators and the design of it and fixed that over the years.
They did fix it over the years. Anything that is not early 2000s does not have that design flaw. But when you get a rebuilt alternator,
Are you okay?
they rebuild it to spec, which includes the design flaw.
I just had a cat dig into my foot.
Oh,
He's
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture doesn't feel like that.
That's torture.
was it you that went to the car wash today?
Who, me?
Somebody posted that they went to the car wash.
No, wasn't me.
I replied back to them. They said, "Yeah, you don't wash a cat. They got 5 pointy things on them." I said, "No, that's on each paw."
They got 20 pointy things on them.
Every end except one is a pointy thing. Out of 6 ends, 5 are sharp.
Yeah, and they got teeth that they're not afraid to use.
Yeah.
Betcha.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Hi, you're being talked about.
Carl knows that.
Are you going to come up here and get on camera tonight? You've been all freaked.
Carl
because things
has
got
been
moved
going
around
through
today.
these Band-Aids really, really rapidly here. The cat really loves to draw blood on Carl, but he doesn't dare on Aunt Donna. So we see which one of them is giving them the good food, don't we?
Yeah. And it's probably because Carl gets more excited in his reactions, and cats respond to that stuff.
Well, Donna
Well, it might be.
spritzing Carl with liquid catnip probably doesn't help either. But
I was thinking Donna's backhand might have something to do with it. Wouldn't want to play tennis with that lady. Let me tell you, might go flying across the court.
ooh,
Guess who?
Elrond!
What a noble
meow meow
creature.
meow 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 meow.
He is
Chris,
really-
in case you missed it, these are my purchases from Friday night.
Yeah, I heard you talking about him. I was listening to you.
Oh God! Oh my God! I was working on a sketch tonight, and this leaning over a table is really wrenching my back a lot, which I took a CBD pill right before I come back on, but which had taken the edge off of it. But
Yep.
that bed over there on the other side of the studio looks a whole lot better, though.
Well, no one will fault you. No one will fault you. Excuse me, if you succumb to the temptations of the comfy pillow. We will not think less of you if you need sleep. Let me tell you, I am the world's greatest at needing sleep and not shutting the camera off.
Yep.
As present company will testify.
The only thing that comes close to the comfy pillow is the comfy chair.
Yeah.
Which
I don't even need that.
fix.
I don't even need that anymore. This thing could be cast concrete and I'd still nod off.
Wasn't one of the characters in the Spanish Inquisition sketch named Biggles?
I don't know.
It seems like he.
They did threaten people with the comfy chair.
But
Well, this is when they were talking about their main goals or whatever. I thought he said something to the effect of Biggles get this or that or whatever. And to me, every time I heard that, I always laughed because I thought, boy, if anything sounds like a cat name, that does.
well,
Hey,
Dr.
no,
Evil's cat.
Biggles was a
Bigglesworth was the cat in Dr. Evil.
yes,
Austin
and
Powers.
Biggles was a character in adventure stories in England. He was an aviator, if my memory serves me. I can't tell you any more details because I've never read any of the stories, but I collect random bits of nonsense that I pass off as facts. I am quite happy to sit corrected if necessary.
Nothing quite like a content cat's look.
Nope.
Mm.
He is one of the few cats I know. I'm giving him a belly rub right now. He's one of the few cats I know of. He loves his belly rubs and he does not attack.
Well, we had one that would love the belly rubs, but once his tail started twitching, you needed to stop soon because he would get ready to lay into you.
Gotcha.
Love bites.
Oh,
Yeah, and sometimes it bled with him.
Donna's cat will roll
Hey.
over on his back and you just put your hand down. He'll stick his paw and pull your hand down to his tummy. And if you set it there, it's fine. But just as soon as you wiggle a finger, it's on.
Yep.
Murder switch.
Yeah, no, he
Yep.
puts your hand there. Like, do it, I dare you. Do it, I dare you.
I dare you. That's what I was thinking. I dare you. It's on.
I was thinking Dirty Harry right there. Do you feel lucky today? Well, do you, punk?
Do you, punk?
There
I
we
did that
go.
rather well,
Michael Palin, who played Cardinal Jimenez, at first then pauses and then passes it off to Cardinal Biggles, which Terry Jones played. A direct reference to James Bigglesworth, nicknamed Biggles, a fictional pilot and adventurer. The title, character, and main hero of the Biggles series of youth-oriented adventure books written by W.E. Johns. So you hit the nail on the head there, Dan.
Yeah, well, I am an endless font of a bottomless font of useless trivia. It's too bad that I can't monetize that, but
Yeah.
And
It just makes you want
And
to
I-
the kids.
I forgot this, but Carol Cleveland's name in the sketch of her character was Lady Mountback.
Okay.
Oh my God.
They got away with a lot of stuff over on the BBC, let me tell you.
Of course.
We
They
loved
were
it.
so
I know that back in the 70s, they would put on the reruns on our local PBS station out of Urbana, Illinois. And I was going to Schlarman High School at the time. So they would air that at 10:30 on Sunday night. You know, that's like, so hopefully none of us kids who were heavily influenced by Monty Python would be up watching it, because we would supposedly be in bed, you know, because going to school the next day. Well, hell no. We were all up, and all the next day at school, you could tell the people who watched Monty Python the night before, because we were all reenacting all the sketches from the night before.
Yeah.
Just driving the teacher bug nuts.
Well, you know, that's required.
The thing about Monty Python, though, is it was funnier if you actually knew history, because they would reference historical stuff and then poke fun at it.
That's what I found about a lot of British literature, as well as the comedy groups. If you have an understanding of not only their history but history in general, you get a lot more out of it.
Okay.
I'm rereading Jasper Ford's Thursday Next series at the moment, and that is so loaded with literary references that I didn't get 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when I was first introduced to it. Now I do, and it's like, oh, how did I miss that one? It's
like watching Bozo Circus as an adult compared to when you were a kid. You got all the adult jokes between Bozo and Cookie that slid by, and the parents, the kids were just staring in amazement, not knowing what was happening, but the parents were giggling in the background.
I've got to say, if you enjoy Monty Python and you enjoy Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, then you will get a kick out of Jasper Ford's books, because it's like those multiplied exponentially. They're good. They're really good.
Okay, while I'm thinking about it, I got to ask you, John, what vessel is that behind you?
Oh,
Wessel
that is the USS Kitty Hawk.
Okay.
She just made it down to Brownsville, Texas, where they're going to scrap her.
Yeah,
She's scrapping the Kitty Hawk?
Yeah. She's made her final voyage.
That's a piece of history that
if
we
you
are
look
all
close
going to
in the
miss.
background, that's Boca
There's
Chica.
a big tower there.
Yeah.
Boca Chica.
Boca Chica, Texas. I posted the video for that. They did a drone fly around, like 10 minutes worth of this drone flying around the Kitty Hawk while it's doing it. And they show it just very slowly being towed into the river there at Brownsville to go to the breaker's yard.
Well,
Gonna miss it.
someday Boca Chica is going to be as infamous as Macho Grande.
Let's not talk about Macho Grande. Gave me my drinking problem.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get over Macho Grande.
I don't think anybody will ever get over Macho Grande. You know,
I think of wrestling when you say that.
On the anniversary of Airplane, Taco Bell needs to come out with a Macho Grande.
Yep.
God, don't give a
Oh,
And
Lord.
you remember that big bowl taco salad thing they used to have in the big clamshell looking bowl size of your head?
Yeah.
It needs to be something like that.
A bowl of big old nachos with everything, including
Did you say Biggles?
Biggles nachos.
Oh, Lord.
Well,
That
I
would
mean,
be the British
I think
way.
We can all die now because Arby's came out with a hamburger now, if you could call it that.
If you
But
can
they're
find
trying
an
to.
Arby's. I've been looking for there's exactly 2 in Clark County, and both of them
Well, we
are
got 2 in Danville.
at least 20 miles away from me. One of them is 30 miles away. I'm going, I want my roast beef.
We got 2 in Dalton.
Do you remember when the Arby's
Chatsworth.
Do you remember when the Arby's buildings back in the late 60s, early 70s were actually shaped like a chuck wagon? And then they would have it also on the sign out front too, which the sign lasted a lot longer than the chuck wagon shaped buildings.
Yeah, I don't remember the buildings being chuck wagon shaped, but I do remember the signs being chuck wagon shaped because my mom's second husband, his family had Vickery Sign Company down in East Ridge, and they did the RB signs.
Oh,
here in the area. I was actually driving by the one there in East Ridge one day when they were pulling down that sign to put in the new one.
Such a sad day.
It is. It's one of those big old-fashioned sheet metal ones with all little light bulb holders. That thing must have had 200 light bulbs in it.
Now you got me thinking about the old Ponderosa restaurants.
I'm going to actually cry if they ever pull down the Big Chicken in Marietta.
Yeah.
This was our first Arby's. Yeah.
I think the Big Chicken's actually register of historical.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to be torn down. I think they've actually renovated it once.
They tore down the Varsity in Athens.
Yeah.
To build a hotel or maybe a shopping center. Nobody's been able to adequately
aren't they building another Varsity there?
Yeah, they are, but it's out near Oconee County. You've got to drive an extra 40 miles to get to it.
Well, that's probably because the property values were where they could actually afford to buy the land.
No, they could afford anything. That business has not dropped off no matter what happened. The Great Depression could come again, and they would still be selling chili dogs and naked steaks and onion rings and whatever.
Well, the Varsity's just like Crystal and Taco Bell. You get to enjoy it more.
Or White Castle or any of those.
I'm getting hungry. Yeah. You get to enjoy it more than once.
All right.
Was it mishandled by people, and that's the reason caused the downfall?
No, somebody made him an offer to build a hotel or a grocery store on the
They made
property.
A bunch of money off selling the place.
Oh, so you're just talking about one location down here.
One location, yep.
Yeah.
They still have the actual drive-in in North Avenue in Atlanta.
All right. That's the Arby's there on Brainerd Road.
Yeah.
You can see the new building.
Yep.
That's the original sign.
Yep.
Now watch this. That's what it looks like today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, looks like a 7-Eleven.
Don't it? No,
it's tiny.
All they need is some gas pumps out front.
Oh. Hey, John, can you pull up
go back to
downtown Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think.
Up here in town, Mapco. I don't know if y'all got any Mapcos around y'all. Mapco is making an attempt to look like Buc-ee's over on Shallowford Road.
No, Lord.
Right next to the post office. I drove by it earlier today. I'm like, dadgum, it's huge for a Mapco.
The only time copycat stuff ever worked was when there was a Del Taco and a Taco Bell side by side.
Down in Terre Haute, Indiana, they had one that was called Taco Tico. And it was renowned for, if Brian Morris was on here, he'd know the one I was talking about, but it was renowned for giving people horrible, horrible diarrhea.
And
Hello, Ace.
hello, Ace. Yes, and thank you for joining us tonight. We miss you. Yeah. I actually miss Del Taco because they had much better food than Taco Bell, but Taco Bell competed them out of existence mostly. And they may be making a comeback from what I hear.
Who?
You know those little curlicue cinnamon things that Taco Bell has for
Yeah.
desserts? Do you remember when those things first came out? They weren't curlicue and hard as a rock. They were flat like a tortilla, but they were real light and airy and crispy, and had, of course, still had the same cinnamon and sugar on it. And I think, if I remember correctly, they were called cinnamon crispas.
Mm.
Now they're more like a churro or something, but
Do you know what they are?
well, I'm sure it's corn flour or something.
Spiraled pasta, deep fried.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
This
yuck.
is the varsity in Atlanta that John's pulling up. This
Yeah,
is
and
the
thank you, John.
world's-
Thank you. I did not know they had the Sonic Drive-In sort of.
Apparently, they bought up
arrangement
the
on the
property
side.
and
This is the world's largest drive-in single, supposedly, unless something's.
Yep. I will have to make the extra drive and check out the new varsity once it's completed in Athens. Part of my college years, I would go to what they call the junior varsity downtown, right next to the university arches, and I would spend $1.50, maybe $2 for a complete lunch,
oh my God,
and go back to my classes. Yeah,
What fun.
so many famous people walk through there. Yeah.
there's Jeff Foxworthy.
Yep,
There's
I
Louis
recognize the mustache.
Grizzard.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Is that Christopher Reeve up there at the top center?
That
That looks more
There's Jimmy
like
Fallon.
it's not Christopher Reeve, but
No, the one top center looks like somebody that it isn't, but
I think that the black and white picture of the black guy, isn't that Nipsey Russell?
Yep.
yep,
Yep.
that's Nipsey Russell, all right.
Okay, I'll be dog.
Oh yeah,
That was
yeah. Remember him quite well from lots of TV shows in my childhood. I wonder how they got the submarine there through the drive-through.
hey,
Hey, it's Atlanta.
it's Atlanta.
Anything can happen.
You know why traffic's so bad on I-75? There you go, submarines.
Yeah, really.
Um,
Oh well.
There's George Bush, Senior.
Mhm.
Is that Tom Hanks?
Tall enough, but I can't see.
Me neither. Terrible picture. Oh, guess who?
Hey.
Bert.
Thank you very much.
Yep. And a fried nanner sandwich with the Diet Coke, please.
Is that G. Gordon Liddy?
Elvis
Hey.
has left the varsity.
It would yeah, rarely. Wouldn't put it past him.
There's another George Bush.
Hey.
Who was it drove the number 2 car?
Oh,
Buck.
is that Jeff Gordon?
Uh-uh.
not?
No, that's not Jeff Gordon.
No.
No, pull that up again. Let me put my glasses on.
Number 2 Miller Lite car.
Rusty Wallace.
Rusty Wallace.
Oh,
That makes
Okay.
excellent sense. Yes, indeed.
forgot about him.
Well, that's easy to do.
Guys, I think I'm going to tie.
Vander Holyfield.
Vander Holyfield.
Wow.
No relation.
Isn't he from Atlanta?
Yep.
Yes. Let's see. That's former Governor Nathan Deal next to Rusty Wallace. That's Louis Grizzard right there.
That's Louis
Uh-huh.
Grizzard. Who's this?
Alan Jackson looks like.
Looks like, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Could be.
Let's see.
Did you hear Alan Jackson is not going to be singing on CMAs anymore? this
Why?
disease that he has, which apparently he got it from his father. It's some sort of form of neuropathy, and I'm trying to think of the
That's Bill Clinton and Zell
Yeah.
Miller.
name of it. But anyway, it's causing a lot of physical problems for him.
I think that's true at Kathy there. Just to the right of that picture on the left column,
And that
below
would
the
be
submarine. Diagonal from below the submarine there.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, but that looks no, it's Miss Dooley. I couldn't tell for sure. I thought it might be true at Kathy, but it looks like Miss Dooley. Jeff Foxworthy. Who's that with the glasses? I can't make it out
That
above the
fellow?
submarine.
Is that Tom
Yeah.
Clancy? No, it's not Tom Clancy.
Oh, well, don't believe I've ever been to the varsity in Atlanta, but I have spent many a dollar at the two that were in Athens.
It's not the
yes,
experience it's not the
I will
experience
make
it once
the extra
was.
drive to go to the brand new one once it's completed, but it won't be exactly the same. But let's hope that they transferred the grease traps from the old one to the new one, so everything still tastes the same.
The thing about the varsity in Atlanta before they got the point of sale systems, part of the experience was there. It was like a 3-ring circus. They were yelling, hollering, shouting at each orders, and they still got your stuff right.
Yeah, I
It's
have
like
never had an order come out wrong.
It's like
Not even in a drive-through. Oh yeah, Waffle House. Yeah, that's a good parallel. Yeah. Thank you, Joe.
Oh, thank you, Ace. Ace got it. Alan Jackson has CMT disease. No pun intended.
Charcot-Marie tooth disease. The disease can affect his ability
Yeah.
to walk. Thank you, Ace Bonnie.
Thank you, Ace.
Yeah, I just saw that pop up on my Google News today, and it was pretty sad. Not that I watched the CMT awards anymore.
Well, the man's a decent person. I mean,
oh yeah, I love him. Yeah.
All right.
I bought his box set DVD or CD collection.
you clocking out, Joe?
Yeah, I'm gonna clock out. Chris, I'm surprised you're here. You're about as exhausted. You got to be as exhausted as I am.
Hey, I had almost 3-hour nap earlier.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've been going since
Yesterday.
9:30 Friday morning.
John, if you would close the show so Dan can start his, I appreciate it. Yeah, but I'm gonna tap out. Chris, I'm gonna hit print on the agenda, and then I'm going to.
Okay. All right. I'll message you in the morning.
All right. I'll holler at y'all later. Thanks, everybody.
Good night, Joe Dog.
And
Good night, Joe.
yeah, we got. This grill's about to whoop me, but I got it turned my way now. So
Yeah. It took some doing, but we got it.
yeah, and Chris has seen it. It's going to be nicer than ever.
Yes, if you thought Grillzilla was something before, it's truly going to be something to see now.
Heather is the one you got to impress.
Heather,
Yeah.
Megan.
Oh God, how did I get that?
I don't know. I'm wondering who's Heather.
Heather that used to be here.
Smekir, or however pronounced last name's pronounced.
It's a marker with an S.
I plead old age and senility,
Yeah.
and
Well, I was the one that called Tessely last night, the Sally,
that's the way it's spelled.
and she did readily admit that a lot of people say that.
Well, I hate that I didn't get to join in to see her because it was good to hear. I've been wondering about her, and I think I even asked you a time or two about her, Dan. But
Yeah, her health is not the best, but she keeps soldiering on, and I'm glad to hear that she got the new violin because
yeah,
I was there in chat one night when her cat destroyed the old one, and
yeah.
All right, guys, say bye.
Goodbye,
I
Joe.
see you too, dog.
bye.
Yes, I want to leave the studio. Quit.
I thought he was yelling at
Now,
Alexa. Or,
No, he's been having a
he,
time of it with the grill, but it's the upgrades and the renovations that he's making to it's going to make it truly
he'll
something
he'll
to
be
see.
he'll be back halfway through my show to make sure I didn't nod off in the middle of it. So
Only if I call him.
he checks into the green room if it keeps going on past 11 o'clock. He's already
It
left twice.
it just depends on if he's having trouble falling asleep or not, and curiosity gets the best of him.
He should be tired enough to sleep
He's
really well
probably going to
tonight if he just
doze.
lets himself.
well, I thought I was going to do the same thing coming back from Chicago on Tuesday. I'm like, I'm just going to hit and drop and be asleep before my head hits the pillow. And I laid there for almost 2 hours because my brain wouldn't shut off. It was like my body was done working for the day, but the brain wasn't. And that's what happened last night for different reasons. So I didn't get to bed before 1 a.m., even though Carl shut down the green room early. And I slept until 4 a.m., and I've been up ever since.
I had that happen one night last week when, knowing full well that I had to get up at 6 and work a 12-hour day the next day, whatever day it was. But I was sitting there, shut everything off before midnight, went to bed, and laid there till almost 1:30, not being able to sleep. I got up, I took a couple of sleeping pills over the counter, not prescribed, and drank a huge glass of water. No beer, water, because I didn't want another beer. And finally, about 2:30 in the morning, I was able to get to sleep. I'd already gone back to bed and been laying there staring at the ceiling for another 30 minutes. Finally nodded off. The alarm clock went off at 6, and I looked at it and go, "You traitor." And got to work on time, did my full 12-hour day, did everything I needed to get done. And by the time I got home, it was ready for another show almost because 12 hours does not give you a lot of time between getting home at 7:30 and something else happening that you've got to be live and direct. All
Well,
right.
the good thing about the wee hours of Friday night, Saturday morning, was I got to satisfy a Waffle House craving that I haven't been able to take care of.
Jealous, jealous. I still want to go to the taco stand, but I have yet to tolerate my dentures long enough to figure out how to eat with them. I put them in. 30 minutes later, I'm going, these things are killing me. I got to yank them out. I want a burrito. I really want a burrito. I'm going to have to figure out how to eat with the damn dentures. You cannot bite through onions and lettuce and tomatoes without teeth. So I've got to do it. I've got to knuckle down and go, I don't care how irritating it is. I've got to learn how to use these prosthetics.
Well, Dan, you can do what Laura's dad does because he got denture problems, so therefore he doesn't have any right now. He just takes whatever food that he can't chew up with his gums, which I'm sure his gums are hard as a rock, but he puts them in a little food grinder. And it's the most disgusting looking hard as a rock. Oh my God.
No, I am not putting my food in a blender. No.
It looks
I will-
like half the stuff he eats looks like baby diarrhea or something, and he just doesn't care. He's got a cast iron stomach.
I will wear the prosthetics. I'm sorry, but I am not going to put my food in a blender. Okay. Visit the necessary. I'll be right back.
That's what they all say, and then they never come back.
It's not really. I don't know why he calls it the necessary, because it's really not necessary.
No,
it's
he
like
could sit right there
don't
and
worry.
do it. We'd never know. I mean,
Yeah, it'll take care of itself. I don't know why he's making that attempt. But there used to be a kid. Speaking of grossing people out with their food, there used to be a kid back in Cherokee. I think I was in 4th grade or 5th grade, and you'd have at lunchtime have your food tray with all your different little what passed for food back in the early 70s. And he would take it and mix it all together. It doesn't matter whether it was mashed potatoes or turkey or whatever. And he would just combine it all together, pour part of his white milk out of his carton into it to make it a swampy soup, and then eat it with a spoon. And he says, well, it all ends up that way in your stomach, so why not do it this way? And of course, he just did it to gross out a lot of the girls. Somebody's listening on a delay.
not me.
To the program. Actually, I just heard something.
I was scrolling through my news feed and it ran across a broadcast of it.
Ah.
But I passed it and I turned my volume down.
Uh-oh. Excuse me.
You're excused.
Thank you.
This time.
Well, that root beer is caffeine free, but it sure makes you burp.
You do realize when I get up and leave the room, I only turn the camera and the microphone off. I can still hear every word you say, Bill.
We know.
Thank God you don't leave the microphone on. Who did that in the green room one night? They had to go excuse themselves, and they had a headset or something on. They left the microphone on.
Oops.
And you heard the tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
I do not know. I do not want to know.
Got a better one.
Well, I have to ask Carl that.
Catoosa County City Council meeting for Fort Oglethorpe. Okay. One of the commissioners gets up to go to the bathroom, was wearing a radio microphone. Forgot to turn it off.
Don't tell me he was constipated.
The entire council meeting it's just like a Monty Python concert. It's just like
at work.
Okay.
Some of us have to wear
broadcast
walkie-talkies
live on the local cable channel.
Oh man, is that person still on the council?
Oh yeah. It's just like every time he starts to stand up, people say, "Don't forget to take your microphone off."
It's like, oh God, never again! I'm not going to eat there ever again. Oh.
At work, some of us have to wear walkie-talkies with lapel mics. I can't tell you how many times that there has been an emergency and the person that they needed to holler at on the walkie-talkie was in the restroom and had not turned the volume down, had not turned the microphone off. And they're going, oh, give me a minute. It's very unpleasant to hear these things. But then again, given the people that I work with, it's not only predictable, but it's highly amusing in a very schoolboyish sort of way.
When I worked at Lowe's, we had to have not only the walkie-talkies, but we had to have them with the headsets on. And that was if you were following a shoplifter around the store. Of course, you wouldn't want them to hear what the other person on the other walkie-talkie is saying. Hey, I just seen him go down this aisle, so if you go around there or whatever.
They need to broadcast over that over the PA system. You're not following a shoplifter or do nuts and bolts. It's
really.
The whole store is like,
he's walking through the electrical conduit aisle now. I see him putting stuff in his pocket.
Well, I would take my headset off when I would go to the bathroom. For the walkie-talkie, I would literally unplug it from the walkie-talkie. And besides having the walkie-talkie, I had a SpectraLink cell phone. For each department had one of those phones. And I would go in there, and my manager, who I think just set up in his office up on the second floor, just decided I'm going to call him, even though he saw me going into the bathroom, and that's the reason why I was taking the headset off. And he would say, well, and I would answer the SpectraLink phone, and it would be him, and I'd say, well, I just came into the bathroom, and I'm sure you saw me. Well, that doesn't matter, or whatever, we need you, and that. And I'm like, well, when I'm done there, you will. And one day I went in there, and I knew it was him calling me because I could see him looking at me through the window from the offices upstairs. And so when the SpectraLink phone started ringing, I answered the phone. Handicap stall, this is Bill. How may I help you? And
give me a minute. I'm going to have to go hands-free.
Oh, God. He screamed and called me, I don't know how many names, told me to come up to the office immediately. And I said, well, I know it's you. Well, it could have been a customer. And I said, well, if it was, they'd be laughing their heads off. I said, you're the only one who's not. But, yeah, he was one of those, we called him Ferret Face because he was kind of a Frank Burns type.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. And then later on, he finally left our store and he went to a champagne store over there, and he was cooking the books at our store to make himself look good. He actually got caught cooking the books over there because one of our managers transferred over there, and they kind of gave a heads up to their people about it.
Yeah.
And
triple
he ended up going to jail.
Can only work for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's the double entry that's fine. The triple entry, no, not so much. Somebody gonna catch you.
Well, you had numbers for every department month for your sales, and certain departments were guaranteed to do fine regardless. Like the lumber department or hardware or something like that. But then other departments, maybe appliances or seasonal or something, that if they weren't doing well, then he would get reprimanded saying, you need to talk to your people in those departments and train them how to do bigger sales, how to get add-on sales was always the big thing. If you're going in for one part for whatever, then try to sell them all the other parts that, whether they needed it or not, it could be something they could use. So he was cooking the books and moving the numbers so that he would look okay.
Hey, Dan.
I am reminded of the story of the best salesman on earth. Yes, John.
I was going to say, make sure you check your StreamYard settings, because I think they did an update, and I think it changed some of where our controls are. I don't know if I don't know if it did it to yours or not, but it did it to mine. I had to hunt for stupid o'clock.
I'm already in the LMS channel, ready to hit the go live button in 8 minutes, which means you've got to hit the end credit. in 6 minutes. So, yes, I'm able to multitask.
I will be hitting the sheets in 10 minutes. So otherwise
they
I
will
would.
forgive you eventually.
Make sure you.
Well, they may hit me back.
Phil, make sure you
What?
leave your lights on and check your bed to make sure Amber Heard hasn't been there.
I thought I smelled something.
No, that's just my jokes.
Oh, okay. She's not. I heard they're gonna, I guess, try to appeal the ruling, and
Always.
to which I said good luck with that. But
Well, from what I have read, although I have not watched any of the footage, from what I have read, she's going to be lucky if she doesn't come out with some fines for being a nuisance to the court.
Well,
So,
she also.
Yes.
What did you do, John?
Who, me?
Yeah.
he
I
borrowed
was,
he
just-
borrowed my kitchen.
My laptop's on a stand and it got knocked sideways, so I picked it up and it did this.
No,
He's
that's
in
not
the
what I'm
boingy
talking
chair.
about. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
He borrowed my kitchen.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it just I was just kind of like, what?
next week we'll all have that background.
Hey, if you go down here and look at the settings for the green screen, it's there. Okay.
I'll never forget when Carl Witzman first took over for Brian's show, and he had the keys, and he did a little snapshot of Brian's studio, and he was telling everybody he knew where the keys were to his house to get in and do the show, and he had that for the longest time. Which, hey, by the way, we still got to hijack his show on Thursday sometime. Yeah.
Oh,
Or Low
I've
Jack.
read those books.
Yeah. Low Jack.
Matter of fact, some of them off your left shoulder have been autographed. That's the Niven shelf. They're Niven and Purnell stuff that right off your left shoulder there. Yeah. There's stuff that's actually worth money because somebody signed it. And matter of fact, that doesn't even go on the shelf above my head of things that were sent to me for review that people signed before they sent. That means that the author sent them to me and not the publisher, because the publisher never sends me autographed stuff. Well, nobody sends me autographed stuff anymore. I don't do book reviews except online. I go, this is good, buy it. What else can I say? After 25 years of reviewing stuff, I ran out of ways of saying this is good, buy it.
Yeah.
When I give a review of a product that I bought off of eBay, because I always try to do that for them, I have the same generic review as far as my typewritten review is. It's exactly what the seller said it would be. Which, okay, but what does that mean? Is that good? Is that bad? Is that mediocre? Or, and that's all I put. But I'll give them, if I think they deserve 5-star, I'll give them 5-star and blah, blah, blah. But
Product arrived exactly as described.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of people that say
without
that.
a magnifying glass, but yeah, this episode is definitely winding down. Somebody turn his Victrola key, will you?
Okay, I'm all right now.
Are we there yet?
We're about 3 minutes from being there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Well, half a
right.
minute from the
I'd like to
credit,
thank everybody that came on tonight to watch the show.
or however you reacted.
I'd like to point out a few of our guests and show our appreciation to them. We had Lewis Lee on tonight.
Always
Joe
a pleasure.
has been
Always
working
a
all
pleasure.
day. He took off early too. We have the ever lovely Stephanie Osborne rocking.
Oh yes.
We have the ever lovely Bill Sartain and his fabulous artwork, and of course the ever lovely Chris, and whatever Chris does, and
Mostly work his butt off.
and of course Dan Hollyfield
Works on grills.
and
Yeah, I
show
don't
up
do
because
anything
I was
except
going to be
talk.
drinking beer anyway, and just decided to drink beer for you guys. So
Dan plays the jug, Stephanie plays the spoons, and I play the bass, and Thessaly played her violin. This has all been explained in Stupid O'Clock Group.
yes, it has.
What happened Thursday night?
Yep, Mama sang bass.
And Thessaly won the golden fiddle.
Mama doesn't sing bass. Occasionally, if Mama has a bad cold, she might manage baritone.
I didn't say Rocket Mama. I said Mama.
Well, there's only one Mama here.
I didn't necessarily indicate that it was somebody that was here either.
So stay tuned, everybody, next Thursday night when Stephanie does her impersonation of Bing Crosby.
Moon
And David
River. No, that's
she's going to
the
sing
wrong
both
word.
parts.
Yeah, with a lot of ba-ba-ba-boo.
It's one of my favorite musicals, Broadway musicals, is Phantom of the Opera. I was really, really disappointed to discover that I can't sing Christine's role. Can't come close. But I can cover the Phantom's part pretty well.
That was one of the reasons I like Phantom of the Paradise, because I can sing badly all of the ranges of all of the people after many years of having it in my car stereo.
All right, that's enough. We got to turn the show off. Okay.
All right.
Tonight's sponsor is the Lockheed F-104A Starfighter.
Bye, Candios amigos.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.